Cool.
Woohoo!
Welcome, Fred and Andy from Sons of Liberty to Just CHOPSING podcast, along with my co-host and cousin David.
Hey guys, you all right?
Yeah,
look like he's got his finger in that.
Thank you.
He's got his finger. Which one's Fred and which one's Andy? Hold on.
Moose. Moose is he's enormous. Look, that's why they call him Moose. And I'm Fred. Funnily enough, yeah. Yeah, so feel free to use Moose. Most people do.
Okay. So Moose and Andy. No, Moose and Fred.
Yeah, Moose and Fred.
I'm useless with names. I'm terrible. So I call everybody mate, and then it makes my life a lot easier.
Good plan.
Okay, so Sons of Liberty, and I must have to emphasize it's the UK version and not the American stormtroopers that stormed the White House.
Definitely not. No.
We did have a bit of conflict when I first said I was going to get you guys on. David was like, "I'm not having them on."
Yeah.
they stormed the White House.
Googled it straight away. I was like, "Nah, they stormed the place, man. No, that's not happening." And he's like, "No, it's a UK band." And on Facebook we found it.
We're definitely leaning more left than right on that front.
All right, so you've got a new album out, guys, called Aces and Eights.
Oh yes, yeah.
And I've had a listen to it. It's pretty good rock music, guitar driven.
Thank you very much.
You consider yourself as southern rockers? Is that because you're from Bristol?
We got that kind of southern storytelling going on in the music, and I think, first of all, thanks for the kind comments about the album. I mean, we're bloody proud as well, you know. So and yeah, it does rock pretty hard, you know. So there's no two ways about that. Probably more so than our previous recorded material, you know. I mean, we started out as a southern rock covers band in the wilderness years before kind of the classic rock, new wave of classic rock type thing kicked off. And you know, we've just absorbed all this southern rock music. Yeah. So when we started writing our own stuff, you know, it's got that kind of tinge to it. There's a little bit of slide in there, some sort of country-ish lyrics, but it's definitely on the heavier end of the southern rock.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Because I've checked the album out today, and it's great. It's be really good. So, you know, before you guys came on, I said to Terry, you know, I would talk about your tour dates and everything in a little while. But I know you guys are gigging up in Kremlin, so I'll be getting a ticket tonight. We'll be coming up.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Yeah.
I really like the album. It's great. That's my sort of what's the matter, Ted?
You missed a trick, Dave. Why are you buying tickets when you got the guys on the show? You can ask them for a free entry.
I know. I always support the bands, man. I always support the bands. I'm always happy to buy a ticket. But so I've listened through the entire album.
Yeah.
And for me, Don't Hide Behind Your Weaknesses is a hell of a tune. That's probably one of my favorites. Next to I Come in Peace.
Yeah.
And then Dead Man's Hand as well.
Okay, well, Dead Man's Hand, we've just added in the set for the couple of gigs coming up. One gig coming up at the end. So the other two are already in. Yeah. They're kind of shoe-ins. Yeah, and the feedback on I Come in Peace, especially, has been tremendous. You know, that kind of massive. You know, it's got the potential of being a 7 or 8 minute song that we could tell ourselves in the studio to keep it kind of sensible length, but yeah, it's got that kind of epic-y sort of southern vibe thing going on, especially the storytelling's cool.
Yeah, the way it works, it reminds me of Fear of the Dark by Iron Maiden. It's like a couple of different sections in it that you could perhaps split the song up. Obviously, then it goes into the ripping guitar solos as well. It's a really, really good track. I like that one.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and Hide Behind Your Weakness. It's got this big chorus that, you know, obviously Rob the singer, who's not here tonight, is Welsh.
Yeah. Well. Trust the Welshman to lay you down.
So, I mean, he felt, the chorus on that,
with some backing vocals and stuff. But it's a big old chorus, and it drops back again in that sort of repeated riff. And it's one of my personal favourites.
Yeah, I mean, you loved it right from the start, didn't you? And
yeah,
it's kind of it's weird because sort of in the recording process, we were constantly thinking, what should be the single, what should be the, and that one never actually got mentioned by Joe's our producer, and
yeah, we were kind of a bit disappointed.
It's kind of like, what about that one, So, but yeah, it's 4.5 minutes long, maybe, so perhaps quite radio friendly. Would need perhaps an edit if we bang that one out later in the year, but yeah, live that one's definitely come in pieces in the set as well. So, and they've gone down well so far when we've played them.
Oh, great. Yeah, I can tell they're gonna be really good festival tracks.
Yeah.
When you're gonna get the crowd going with those tracks, right? I mean, it's gonna be good.
Well, we hope so.
Yeah,
It's gonna be good. I'm sure it is. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, so Ruby Star was your first single off the album then?
Second.
Oh, the second single.
Reputation was the first one.
Okay.
Which is a heavy track on the album. You've heard it. It's got down tuned and a bit more modern heavy.
Yeah.
So that kind of evolved to be heavier than we expected.
Yeah.
With Josiah, the producer, kind of whatever we did, he took it to the extremes.
Yeah.
So because that one was a bit heavy, he made it
much heavier.
Okay.
So yeah, loads of great work on the guitar tones and stuff in studio, and getting to play some kind of weird stuff with a real drop tune in, and then play in a different position and things. So and it has ended up with that real sort of modern kind of sort of rock vibe kind of thing going on. But so
that was the first single. And if you haven't seen the video, your viewers, check out the video for that. Rob's acting in that. We didn't know he could act. we filmed it in Bridewell Police Station in Bristol.
I wondered where. I was going to ask where you were.
Yeah. And it was quite scary. I mean, the cells are bloody horrible and small, and
they said
off.
It's a nightclub now as well. I mean, it's actually it's chill out rooms for the big live room that they've got there, which is actually where we shot the Ruby Star video. And but it has got this kind of weird, cold kind of atmosphere down there, which
well, it was January.
Yeah,
it was cold.
There was no yeah, but yeah, I mean the director of the video, came up with this idea of shooting through the bars of the corridor to the cells, and Rob just pulled something out. I mean, where that came from, we were there like, oh my God, we've got to do something next. How are we going to follow that? So yeah, that was great fun, and it was brilliant to be working with some really clever, creative people that helped get the best of the songs as well. So,
yeah, I mean that was the first one, and yeah, we were stunned that I got picked up by Rock Radio. So Wyatt played it on his new rock show. He previewed it as well, and then they put it on the main playlist, and we were just pleased to have it played once. The fact it got on the playlist was, it's changed our lives, but it's a big old effect.
It was incredible because that meant it got played at least once a day by one of the DJs for 2 weeks, as it turned out. So. So it was really cool, kind of like tracking during the day. Oh, who's going to be playing the song today? And a couple of times it was during the middle of the night, but most of the time the main DJs on Planet Rock Radio have played the song, and Wyatt, bless him, it was bloody marvelous that he picked up on and punted it in his show, and it's kind of gone from there. So it's been pretty cool. So since the album came out, with all that happening, the video, a couple of cool singles, it's been bonkers, really.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, you always need that little bit of luck for one DJ to pick a song up,
Yeah.
And it can make or break it, really.
He's so influential as well, especially in the new rock scene. He has the only kind of new program on Planet Rock, so and he only gets to play 15 songs a week on that show, and so to get selected for that was fantastic, and then to bump from that into the main playlist was totally incredible. So and you know, obviously sales of the album, streams of the video, all that kind of stuff, we saw going in the right direction on the back of that, which was pretty damn good too.
Yeah,
cool.
Really, really
All
good.
right.
So where can you order the album from then? Because I saw, obviously it's released now, isn't it? Because it came out on the 18th, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, start with the website, Sons of Liberty Band.com, or Facebook, Sons of Liberty UK, as you mentioned, and there's links from both of those to our online shop, and you know, and I'll drop it up the post office and get it winging on the way. So
brilliant stuff. Do they sign them as well? Do you sign all the CDs and stuff?
Yeah, vinyl's coming.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the whole lockdown thing seems to have knocked the vinyl production people in the whole of Europe into a bit of a cocked hat. So we've got vinyl submitted. That'll be kind of September-ish is sort of what we're looking at the moment. So and we did a nice orange vinyl version of our previous album. So that, you know, we'll have some similar kind of things to tie in with that. But when we get to that for later in the year.
Yeah. Brilliant.
But that wasn't the question David asked. David asked if you sign the albums before you post them.
He doesn't listen to me either. Yeah, we got. I mean, by default, we're signing the CDs. But you can, if you don't want one signed, some people like put a note on there.
Yeah, no, all of the pre-orders were signed.
Yeah.
So anybody that pre-ordered them got a signed copy. And going forward now on the shop, there's an option. So you select whether you want a signed copy or an unsigned copy, and hopefully I'll send you the right one.
Yeah, right, okay.
And I've seen you got like a CD bundle as well for your back catalogue, so you can, you know, so the guys on there and order all your back catalogue in one go.
They've been really popular, haven't they?
It's amazing. No, it's Freddie's idea. It's worked really well.
Yeah, but a lot of people have just come to the band because they were stuff off Aces and Eights, and obviously they if they like the band, it's a cheaper way to get the back catalogue, and it's nice to have, isn't it? I mean, you know, we're relatively new band, but we've got quite a catalogue, and obviously we're still playing quite a lot of those old songs off the first EPs, and obviously the last album, Animism. You know, we've still got to play quite a lot of those in the centre out live, because our older, longer term fan base, you know, want to hear Brotherhood or Damned If You Do or something. So, but yeah, it's good to do it really.
And working a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's good for you guys as well, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, a lot of people. Yeah, but a lot of people are only coming to you now because of your new album, so to bundle everything together and to be able to send it out. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
we're kind of seeing, you know, some people are just buying the whole lot straight off, you know, but some people have bought the new album and then a week later you get another order from the same kind of people, you know. So they're definitely coming back and checking out the earlier releases as well, which has been tremendous.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I'll be banging them one in tonight. So,
and that's not into his missus either.
We won't pass judgment on that.
So you're embarking on your tour on Friday. So you've got an album launch party in Swindon.
We have, level 3 in Swindon. It was the Bristol show because most of the band are from Bristol, but the venue couldn't open at all because of the ongoing restrictions. So that would have been last weekend when the album actually launched. So it's going to be that this was the next gig, and it's a great venue, especially distant. So but it's a big old place, so we'll still get quite a few in there. That's nearly sold out actually. So that might be by now.
10 or 12 tickets or something. You know, we got notification earlier today that it was just sort of rattling down to being sold out, which which actually for us then I think would be
3 in a row.
3 gigs in a row and sold out.
And we did, because we did 2 shows before the album came out. One in Weston-super-Mare, place called Electric Banana, and one at the Catalans Park, which is in Wimbledon, kind of West London area. And obviously they were both
Socially
limited
distanced as well.
capacity.
Yeah.
So we have played it all this year already.
Yeah.
And then we got a bit of a gap then. That we did have quite a few more in at the start of July, which we can't do. The venues can't again.
Yeah, because of the extended lockdown.
That's it. Yeah.
So we've moved those, haven't we? And then at the end of July, it all goes a bit crazy then.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's good. Yeah, you got a few festivals that you guys are going to as well, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. And some really looking forward to as well. I mean, Rocking the Bowl in Sheffield is looking like being a tremendous event. But we've got a couple of Hard Rock Hell outings as well. So we're on the Crows and the main Hard Rock Hell.
Yeah, you've got Southern Uprising, haven't we?
Southern Uprising, yeah.
Something kind of bikery one.
Yeah. Winter Storm later in the year up to Scotland. So that should be quite cool. So
very cool.
I mean,
it's fucking freezing.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think it
will. Yeah.
I think it is inside. So
it'll still be cold in Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the Highlands. It is kind of near Glasgow.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's where a lot of the new bands that I follow sort of see them at festivals. So the exposure that you get at festivals is great. So there's people that perhaps would never come across your music, and then all of a sudden you're in front of them playing. Do you know what I mean? So it's a really good way to find
not last year, year before now, wasn't it?
Yeah, so last time it was on, wasn't it?
Yeah, the last rock stock on the Introduction band stage. Yeah. And that, it just gets you into front of so many people that have never seen you before. And Giants of Rock, the Minehead in Butlins.
Yeah.
Which, they've got a really good new band stage as well.
Yeah.
So the year we played, it was Scarlet Rebels, the Hollow Star and us that won through.
Yeah.
And then you go back and play on one of the main stages the following year. So all 3 of us went back.
It's kind of like a fan boat kind of thing, which works really cool. So, there might be, 4 or 6 new bands, and then the best of those from the fan boat get to come back the following year. So, us getting to play on the bigger stage in the Reds room was a tremendous experience, with like 1,400 people or 1,200 people or something. So that was pretty.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, so we are getting there.
That's good.
And we got some good ones next year as well.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a few of this year's have got moved.
Yeah.
So we've got SOS in Manchester, which is a lovely little festival, really nice atmosphere. Oh, we got the Waterloo one.
Oh yeah.
Rock Force at the end of the year. Well, up at Waterloo, and that venue. I mean, Ian that runs that is one of those grassroots venues that's really got no money and nearly threw the towel in, and people rallied round and amazing to see them pulling through now.
Yeah.
So we can't wait to get there. So, and he really looks after us.
Yeah.
And next year we got Love Rocks was announced last night.
Yeah.
So the first 5 bands announced for that.
That's with you got some really good Riders Creed on there with you, and Florence Black as well.
Yeah, Florence Black
and the Scarlet Rebels again.
That's right. Yeah.
Scam.
Scam.
I think that's the 5.
Yeah.
So I mean, it'd be, I'd go and see that lot anyway.
Yeah. There's some good bands there. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
We got a trip to France later in the year as well. So that should be quite cool. We're playing Bully on Rocks, it's called. He runs 2 or 3 festivals a year, and so we've got FM and Grand Slam, us, and French band as well. So his name escapes me. So that'd be quite cool. We're still trying to put a couple of things around the same time to make it worthwhile going over. But at the end of the day, the guy that runs it, Mark, has been massively supportive. So he's bought like multiple copies of Animism on vinyl, CDs and stuff like that. And he's got a huge record store thing which he runs in his area. So he's been selling loads of our material already. So
okay, where in France is it?
It's up your end. Yeah, it's Bully-les-Mines.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So it's right northern France. It's
Okay.
Not far from Calais.
Ah, right. Okay. So if you could drop one in Belgium, drop one in Holland, or two in Holland.
But
Yeah.
actually, we hooked up with a promoter who does a bit of work in those territories. You know, more kind of new wave, the old new wave of British heavy metal type stuff. You know,
Okay.
throwback type bands. But yeah, so he's chipping away trying to find a couple of venues that might put us on around the same kind of time. But I think everywhere over there he's finding it really hard to get commitments from any of the venues, obviously based on what's going on at the moment. But
I think we're pretty much opening up on Saturday. I mean, they're getting rid of all the face masks.
Okay.
I think everything's going to be.
We'll drop you a line after the interview and be in touch.
Yeah. That's no problem, man. I mean, I think that nearly all the venues will be open again. The only thing is you've got to be socially distanced. But apart from that, I think everything's going to be open. So, like I said, the biggest thing for us is they're going to stop using the face masks. So once you stop using the face masks,
They got to be pretty confident.
Countries need visas as well.
Yeah.
Because France doesn't need visas for musicians. I think Holland doesn't.
Well, this is another thing I mentioned. I mentioned to somebody earlier. I think it was Rick Astley actually. I tweeted him because he put something on about musicians are going to be struggling to go abroad. But I've spoken about this on a previous podcast. As far as I understand it, you won't need a visa to travel for up to 90 days. So you're allowed to go out of the UK for up to 90 days, but you've got to be back within that 90 days, and then you don't need a visa to travel. And Marillion posted a tweet about you can only visit 3 countries, but I can't see that being correct.
Yeah, I think loads of people are just concerned about, you know, all of a sudden it's harder to, you know, whereas previously you could just jump in the van and off you go, you know, but the whole Brexit thing has put additional complications in for us, and then you've got your COVID complications on top of that as well, you know.
Each country's rules are different. Germany is it's not as easy.
Yeah.
We couldn't go to Germany, but I think Holland and Belgium are okay, and Spain.
Yeah, you couldn't go to Germany now. I mean, I couldn't go to Germany now, and I live on the border.
No, that's right. Totally closed down. And,
So, but going forward, I don't think you'll have any trouble, to be honest, with as long as you play the 90-day rule.
Yeah.
And don't wear a Welsh football jersey because they're not allowed in Holland at the moment either.
What about the team?
They're allowed.
Yeah, there's no supporters allowed, is there?
Oh, no, that's strange. Yeah.
But anyway, you formed your band in. Sorry, Dave.
Go on, Ted.
You formed your band in 2014.
Yeah, it came together as we were all in different bands doing different things in Bristol and Southwest, and it just sort of came about as a bit of a side project, just to play music that we realised we loved. The kind of Skinner, Blackfoot, Molly Hatchet type stuff, and so putting something together to cover that and go out and play the odd gig now and again. That's kind of how it started. So,
that's how you started your cover band thing, was it?
Yeah, it's taken on there, you know. So I think it was 2018. We had a bit of a break in the summer, and Freddie had come up with a couple of really killer guitar licks and stuff, and so Mark was away on holiday, and we found ourselves working on some original material, and that's what turned into the Shinola EP. And initially we pulled a couple of songs out of the set and bunged in a couple of our own. You know, and they went down so well that it was really encouraging.
Yeah, kind of inspired by a couple of things really. It was other bands that Stone Broken actually opened for us, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
When we were a covers band, and it was the week they got on the Planet Rock playlist, and they're just about to get signed. and yeah, they're lovely people. You know, as you'd imagine, what you see that's exactly what they're like.
Yeah.
Really sweet. And we saw them doing it, and then started to notice that the scene was coming back, because we've been through like the wilderness years. You have of very little new music in terms of guitar-based rock. You know, it was indie stuff and you know, loads of pop music, but sort of more classic rock. Is I think our generation's come back round to it, and there's now an audience again, and there's certainly people buying the music. So the scene's come back round to us. So when we started the band, it hadn't really picked up. And we started to see, you know, your Stone Brokens, and then the American bands taking off, like Blackberry Smoke and Cadillac 3 and Whiskey Myers started to come over tour, and Blackstone Cherry, another big influence. And seeing there was a really big audience for the kind of music that we were doing. And then that's what inspired us really to write.
Like the Shinola EP.
Write your own music.
And then you know, that went so well. You know, 6 months later, we're back in the studio again with another 5 or 6 songs, and you know, so Aged in Oak EP, and now all of a sudden, we've got enough for a set now with all our own stuff. You know, so we kind of stopped doing the covers and concentrated as fully as we could be an original band from that point onwards, and obviously, you know, like I said earlier, we've added Animism, so there's another 12 songs, and then there's, you know, the new album, another 12 songs, so we've actually got a whole raft of original material to draw from now for
it's kind of 3 albums worth.
3 hours.
Well, that's the trouble. I mean, a 90-minute set is kind of what we've been doing for the last couple of gigs, because there haven't been support bands. So
and already punching each other. You're not leaving that song out.
So some of the festival slots, when they're going to be 45 minutes, I mean, God alone knows what we're going to lose. But
so how do you pick the songs then? How do you decide which songs are going to go in?
There's some that kind of pick themselves. So you know, there's the few that have been singles, and we know what people like, because you you can moan what you like about Spotify and stuff, but actually it gives us a lot of information. You know, the analytics on there, so we can see what people are listening to the most. And we know, we kind of know what the strong songs are. You see the reaction at gigs, and we know. We don't get them all right, but you kind of know when you come out of the studio that I've got weakness. That's the sort of kind of that's got something that'll stick.
And there's the whole dynamic of playing live as well. So open with a puncher, you know, get some energy going at the beginning. You can have a ballad, you know, and on a longer set, you know, we get to play 2 ballads in the set. So we've got this nice kind of like wave thing, and then a big finish. So so it's been quite cool. So, and again, Freddie's good at kind of coming up with the initial structures of those sets. Occasionally we have the odd little dispute about one song's missed out or something. So
I can't please everyone.
No.
But I mean, it is building a set is almost as much as challenging as the song order, making the selection of songs for an album. It has to. You've got to try and think what it's like to watch and listen to.
That's the flow.
Give people a bit of a rest, and then build them up for the end. And then we got a few with some, the crowd participation ones, and we put 2 of those next to each
other earlier.
So we're in the van straight afterwards, going, we need to move those. So you think about it all the time, and you want because you want the show to be engaging, fun, not too hard wearing, hard on the ears and concentration.
The final thing is we got a few songs in drop D tuning as well. So so we're not at the stage yet where we've got a guitar helper at the side of the stage who can hand us a guitar in. So we tend to try and lump those together at the moment at the beginning of the set, but we're going to have a bit of a play with that to see how things go for later in the year. So
I mean, we need we've probably got 4 or 5 sets on the go. Because of the set lengths that you get, so kind of build those. and stick them in a spreadsheet, and then what was it next week? Well, we got 45-minute festival slot, and then we got an hour and a half of our own, or an hour. So we kind of pick them out.
Well, it's a nice problem to have. I remember seeing
for sure.
a couple of bands at Rockstock, and they played 5 original songs, then they had to play a cover to make a 30-minute set. So we're certainly not in that sort of problem.
We're not playing Freebird more if anyone. If you're expecting to hear that, don't come.
But you can play the guitars for Freebird. You've got to be pretty good guitarist to be able to play that.
Yeah, so an extended live version. I mean, we used to close the set for that years ago. We haven't played it for a little while now, have we? But,
no. I mean, but we've always played. We used to play that, and it's kind of in our slot though. I mean, that's the kind of style you are.
Yeah.
You can play that. Yeah. Maybe not Alan Collins standard. But we can't really play Joe Satriani or Surfing with the Alien. No, it's all right. That would be terrible.
Yeah. It's actually funny. It's the keyboard from Freebird that we miss. I mean, guitar-wise, I think we managed to cover it between us, and I mean, Freddie obviously covers the big old solo at the end. But yeah, it's just that lovely piano thing. And that's the bit that's missing when we used to do it. But yeah, that's back in the dark and distant past.
So were you actually Sons of Liberty when you were a cover band? Did you start it?
We were.
Okay, that's pretty cool then. So I suppose you built yourself a pretty good fan base as a covers band before you started introducing your own material,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, some of it's different because some of the fans that we had, when you're playing the cover circuit, the audiences are different. The audience will go to, they'll go to, I don't know, the Doll's House in Abertillery, and they'll go there every week.
Yeah.
And they'll see who's on.
Yeah.
But they won't go to Crumlin.
Yeah.
I shouldn't use those venues. I'm just using. They'll go to the local place because the music comes to them.
Yeah.
And they'll enjoy whatever comes to them. Whereas when you start doing the original stuff, you go somewhere, and the people come.
Yeah, but as you said, you were throwing a few original songs into your cover set.
Yeah,
we converted it quite.
Definitely. I mean, Swindon on Friday is we played Swindon many times in 2 or 3 venues in Swindon as a covers band. Kind of made that transition to having some originals and then mostly originals. And now we're in level 3, which is a much bigger venue up there, and people that really want to see us are coming to see us. What I mean?
It's a mixture, isn't it? So we'll have quite a lot of the old crowd. That would have will see us because we're in Swindon. And we'll have people that will travel from
South Wales or
all over.
Yeah. And there are those guys that are rocking up on a regular basis to see us play, which is humbling, really.
Good.
I mean, and the audiences. I was watching we weren't at Love Rocks this year, but we were watching. You see it all on social media and the photographs and the videos, and all the people there would come to all of our gigs. The crowds, they're kind of, it is quite a community.
It is, I find that when I go, because there's a lot of bands that I follow, and you always bump into the same people at the different gigs, because I tend to stay local. So if there's a gig in Wales or South Wales, I'll go to it. If there's one in Bristol, amazing event. It's just a great place for live music. It's a fantastic city. I go there as often as I did before the pandemic. As often as I could. But you're right. There's definitely a community. You see the same people.
Well, it's nice, isn't it? Because you get to know people. You can go on your own, and there'll be 15 people there that you talk to. And that's like a new massive rock things like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's kind of how that kind of started. Community of people that went to gigs together, and we're alone now. If you go to any of those, any of the current bands, ones you mentioned before, and you'll see half the audience will be the same people that were at the last gig. you know, whoever it was you went to see, and it's lovely.
Yeah, that's really good.
And they travel.
Yeah.
Again, you know, you've got a mixture in the audience. You have got some people, which is fantastic, but you've also got some people that are kind of retired or semi-retired, and they seem to spend their life.
Yeah, exactly. Traveling
that's
to
their
gigs,
hobby.
you know, hotel, staying for a weekend, whatever it might be. So, and if that sort of lines up with something we're doing too, then that's, you know, totally amazing.
So it's a brilliant time to be doing original music, because there's a great audience, there's a good community. You know, okay, the venues have had a terrible time, a lot of them.
Hopefully they'll come out now.
They all seem to still be there.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
You know, there's a bit of light at the end of that tunnel, isn't there?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think that, you know, we've mentioned it on quite a few podcasts previously that people, well, I certainly did, you take music for granted. So, you know, I living where I live, like you said, you've got the Patriot, which I haven't actually been to yet. I was planning to go there, and then lockdown struck us, but tram shed a pile of times. I've been to the Dragonfly in Pontypool. That's kind of like my local venue, and like you were saying earlier, we just used to go there every week, and whoever was playing, go in and support. So.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, that's what the scene was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of, and you can still do that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the crumbling crew will do that, but you'll also get a third or half the audience will travel in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come up from Cardiff or wherever, from Bristol or Swansea or wherever they're coming from. You know, if it's a band they want to see, they'll travel.
Yeah. What I'm hoping, guys, is that because we haven't been able to travel, your shows are going to be rammed, because people are going to be dying to come out now to see live bands. Do you know what I mean?
So far we've got about two. We've sold out.
Cool.
And it was terrible in London, because there were
people queuing outside
2 hours
in the rain as well. So the venue had already used its capacity, and they were basically saying that it's one out, one in now. You know, so
they were waiting out there.
Waiting outside.
You just feel terrible. And that was at 5 o'clock. We weren't playing till 9.
Yeah.
And it's just so the limited capacity thing is bloody awful. Really.
Yeah. So then, do they mark the floor for where you can stand, or you're going to be
they'll allocate seats to people at the moment.
Yeah, little clumps of tables.
Tables are up to 6,
and a waitress.
Okay.
So there's no moving around without a mask. Or, and don't go to the bar.
Yeah.
So they're done well. They're great gigs, but it's just a shame that we can't get more people in, and for people that are, that don't get there early enough if it's not a ticketed event.
Yeah.
So, but most of ours are ticketed now. So
how many people are allowed in? So you see, it's like a third of the capacity, or what?
Yeah, it depends. If the local authority will set the limit, it can be up to half.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For a big place with loads of ventilation. That's not always the case. I mean, Call of the Wild Festival was just called off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because they had trouble, and that's outside. So whatever their council or their local health authority, Public Health England people had a problem with something, and that's terrible. Outside should be pretty. Pretty good,
outside is
And all that happened on a day when you're watching England Scotland on the telly, and there's thousands of people have come down from Scotland just to kind of hang out somewhere in London and watch the football. So there was whole kind of streets full of people, and Call of the Wild Festival had the plug pulled that day. Which
but it can be kind of up to half for indoors.
Okay.
I think Friday this week for us, which I don't know when this will go out. It is, I think it's 90 capacity. That's normally 300. 300, 350.
Yeah, 300.
So
it's but again, they've got seating areas upstairs. They've got seating areas that they've got on the dance floor area, and they'll run a waitress service and stuff. And Darren and the team at Level 3 have done a tremendous job to be able to
one-way system and
to put something in place. One staircase goes up, one comes. And it's not the same for the punters, for people coming to the gigs. It's not the same for us either, but it is still a gig.
Yeah. At least it's something.
So we still get to play the songs, and you get that kind of reaction thing, a bit of interaction. We get to sell some merch as well, which obviously helps. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they've been quite good, haven't they? And obviously people can drink, so they're happy. There's music.
There's beer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. I'm sorry, Dave.
Well, I was just going to say I'm going to Steelhouse at the end of July.
Yeah.
You know, and at the moment we've got thing crossed in Wales that's going to go ahead, but I know they've capped it to, because it's obviously an outdoor event, they've capped it to 4,000 tickets.
4,000, yeah.
And that's kind of like how they're managed. But again, you know, I don't know how it's going to be socially distanced. You know what I mean? Because it's a big arena field, so we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I think they did light, didn't they, or whatever they called it. So I mean, the outdoor ones
should be okay.
I think transmission is supposed to be quite outdoors. I think they've kind of worked that out, but I'm sure Steelhouse will be fine. If the vaccination kind of carries on rate it's going, need to get a few of the younger ones done.
Yeah. I think there was like for download, that should download light that's just been last weekend. I think there was about to have a pre-test and show some evidence that you tested clear, and then you had to do another one afterwards as well. And I don't think there was much social distance actually once you were inside the event. So and I'm sure Steelhouse is going to be the same as that. I think.
Yeah. Well, I saw, because I was a fan of those damn Crows, and they played there. And Kane, who was the lead singer, was crowd surfing, so there was definitely no.
And they're great guys. They went down a storm as well, from what I understand. I've seen a few people saying, best band of the weekend and stuff, and I think they were up there on most lists that I'd seen. So
I think we had drunken conversation with them a bit at Rockstock.
Yeah, them massive wagons went down really well, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I mean, they always
just the right sort of bands for those kind of events, aren't they? Especially when everybody's got a bit of sort of pent up kind of energy to release. I mean, the Wagons boys are bring the energy to the stage all the time. So and those damn Crows exactly the same too. Stone Broken, I think, went down well also. So it's cool to see the kind of the newish bands doing well,
Yeah, they're all cracking bands, aren't they?
Good, which you guys are part of.
Well, kind of nipping at the heels a little bit. We're getting there.
Yeah. I mean, in 2020 you were voted number 4 in the band of the year by the new wave of classic rock community. So I mean, you're not doing too badly, I don't think.
No. I mean, you don't believe any of it. It's just us. It's just me and Moose. Rob and Mark and Steve. So
that was quite an honour to we hadn't even really done very much last year. I mean, Animism had come out at the end of the year before. We've done a few gigs early 2020, and then we punted out a bunch of silly videos and things during the initial sort of lockdown, and people seem to really respond massively well to us, So
we did a couple of the online fest, didn't we? Anyway, I think that helped with the new wave of classic rock people.
So that community, is brilliant. The people that organise it are brilliant, and the people that are part of it are brilliant as well. So the support we've got from those guys has been really tremendous. So and hopefully, and that continues to grow at a massive rate. I remember when they were talking about 10 members, and they're up to well beyond 20 now. Might even be getting on for 30,000 members on that Facebook group. So it's quite incredible, really.
Yeah.
Just what happens next, kind of thing, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Because we're in Classic Rock Magazine Track of the Week competition.
Oh yeah, currently.
I think we were winning it last time I looked. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Right.
Okay.
But it doesn't.
So there's bands like Garbage and Crowbot and Sweets, and it's got they've got industry support behind them, and there's this daft little band from Bristol and South Wales that a video here we shot for the 1,500 quid, and it's kind of there we are winning the fan vote of that as well, which is bad, really. So,
and that's with
yeah.
your single Ruby Star, isn't it?
Ruby Star, yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
I mean, that's rollicking song, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the story is fantastic. And it was lovely. People starting to get people now posting videos of Ruby Star. Right now, if people don't know, she was an amazing singer in the 70s and early 80s, and had her own career, but was also best known really for being a member of Black Oak, Arkansas.
Okay.
And being sort of Andy's kind of sidekick. But she's a little firecracker with a like Janis Joplin type voice.
Yeah.
And she died quite young. And Rob's really passionate. He'd seen her.
Yeah, that's right. He saw her in Las Vegas, I think, and that's what inspired him to kind of write the story for the song. And then on the back of that, the fan pages, her fan pages, have like latched onto us, and then the Black Oak, Arkansas fan page latched onto us, and it's kind of it's just now. The whole 6 degrees of separation thing sort of kicks in. When
it's a really small world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, the nice thing is people are posting videos of Ruby Star saying, I've now gone and looked this amazing singer up.
Yeah.
And that's what Rob wanted, really. And
Yeah.
I think that was the point of a view to somebody.
Yeah.
And it's lovely to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really nice sentiment.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of Rob's storytelling is that it was kind of connections to real things, real people, real events in his life and stuff. So and that's another thing that harks back strongly to the sort of southern rock, classic southern rock, if you like. That kind of storytelling. So it's something like Skinner or Blackfoot or something would just draw a story from their family, and there it would be on the album. I mean, that's kind of where we are with a lot of the stuff that Rob comes up with.
I think that's why people like the songs quite a lot, because they can relate to Rob's stories. Yeah. We all know, there's an Old Soap Jail on the last, on Animism. Everyone knows the local town kind of drunk.
Yeah.
And so scripted with it. Yeah, we all know Old Soap Joe. Or we might have been. Or we might be, yeah. So, and I think that's why I like Southern rock as well. It's because it's, the music's hard to define, but it's kind of stories about people, about their life, where they are, and how you live where you're spoke, really, isn't it? It's not, our music is about wanting to be something else. Yeah. And I think, the rock stuff is about what you are and being, celebrating that, whether it's cracking a cold one with the boys or whatever, or Simple Man, about family and stuff. I think they're songs for people that are satisfied with where they are.
It's sort of,
and I like that.
To be honest, it sort of reminded me of, there used to be an old rock band called Dogs d'Amour. Do you remember them? It sort of reminded me a little bit of that. It's like it seemed like Dogs d'Amour grown up a little bit. That's what came to my mind.
That's Tyler from Dogs d'Amour, isn't it? And he's that kind of like troubadour, storyteller, and you could tell all of it was 100% authentic. When he was talking about, singing whatever his song was, it was something that had happened to him or something that he knew, and that's absolutely Rob. That is Rob.
Rob's a writer about historical events that he's got some connection to, even if it's through his ancestors, or people he's come across or situations he's lived through. So that there's even the ones you think that can't have happened. Well, he's Welsh, isn't he?
Yeah. I was going to say he's about to have seen the inside of a jail cell.
I think he had to say he hadn't. No.
Well, your album's getting some great reviews, lads.
Yeah. Oh, we can't believe it. We really can't. I mean, sort of every couple of days there's been something drops with somebody writing something nice about what we've pulled together. So thank you to all the journos out there that have written something cool. Yeah,
like Power Play Mag and ERB and Rock and Load have written you some really good reviews. So I mean, yeah, hopefully you'll go from strength to strength.
Yeah, it was cool to get in, again, classic, kind of proper little write-up, it's, so that was really cool. Nice review from Hugh Fielding. So yeah, so it has been just overwhelming sometimes, sort of the stuff that drops in our mailbox. Just like, here's another cool one, and yeah,
it must be quite good then.
Yeah. I think we've done something all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yeah, I think we've kind of got a bit better at it, and also we've worked with an amazing producer this time.
Yeah.
So he's made it sound as good as we can sound as well. So, and kind of calling the album Aces and Eights for us was like high stakes thing. It was like, all in.
Yeah,
I like it.
We're not the youngest, so we ought to get on with it, which might be why we write so many bloody albums and stuff. We're quite prolific, and because we're in a bit of a hurry, we might not be here tomorrow.
That's my usual line.
Well, it's no, not to be morbid, but yeah, we you've got to step up if you can.
Yeah.
And so we're an independent band, so we're not signed to a label. We kind of worked with a label for the last album, and kind of realised, thought we could probably do it
just as well.
And I think that we have, obviously. So it's you get to know really great people. Like Toby Jepson, we spent some time with second EP.
Yeah.
And he did a bit of mentoring for us, and that had a day kind of critiquing the songs. And every time you pick this stuff up from people that are real, total professionals.
Yeah.
And we keep a little bit of it each time.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's all come together this time.
Yeah.
And it's not it's not just that we work with an amazing producer. We had to get to that point. We had to go through.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what if they'll work with us, we want to work with Desire.
Yeah.
You've got to go through the stages to get there. Although we're old, it's still quite new. We're still a pretty new band.
You're not that old, are you?
Yeah. Probably in our 50s. Yeah.
It's probably not as old as me anyway. I'm fucking ancient.
I know you don't look at that. It's probably not hard between us. It's probably not always. But it's when we were first starting out, which was kind of 80s, early 80s. Not only but as musicians. We went in the studio back then a few times between us, and it was 2-inch tape.
Yeah. And fully analog.
8-track.
Yeah.
And you're bouncing tracks across.
Yeah.
And,
you might have had a bit of desk automation, but that would have been about the only thing for mixdown, So, so like Freddie said, the whole kind of learning how to do things in the bit more of a sort of modern studio setup. Shinola was a massive eye-opener for us, and then we added to that with Toby helping us for Aged in Oak, and then we took some of the concepts that he kind of like given us for the next album, and then we've worked with a proper producer for this album. So it needed those 4 steps to get there. I don't think we could have just jumped to where we are with Aces and Eights, and
we kind of in parallel with that. I think one of the reviewers we spoke to described you guys who've done the hard yard.
Yeah.
And we have. We've played to 8 people. Yeah. We've driven to Scotland, to Newcastle. Miles. You don't even get enough money to cover the hotel.
Yeah.
So. And we're glad that, and that's all part of the journey.
Yeah.
And you see, sometimes you see sort of bands, they just want to get straight to that point. Well, you're there, we're at you. Why can't we get there?
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
It takes time.
Going through.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Yeah. And then maybe for some it does, but I think it's invaluable to do that, and I think you've got to spend that time through the adversity with each other to value when it starts going well for you, and to build on it. And that's part of the other reason we've got a lot of fans everywhere, is because we've been there.
Yeah.
It's no good sitting at home saying, why aren't I on Planet Rock Radio when no one's bloody seen you? You've got to go. We've been all up the valleys, and we've been all over the UK, and we're going to France. We don't know if that'll pay off. But, we might cost me to do it, but we'll do it. And we're still doing that. You've got to work hard. I mean, Sky Realms was another fan that we took them out, and then they've done some sort of swapsy stuff. But they played a lot of gigs with us, because you see a band there that's got a work ethic, and they mean it. And we see those down the circuit. That's just one of them. There's loads. Piston are another one. Bands you see. There's loads of them. And doing the same. They are working their socks off to try and achieve the dream, because they and it's it's just about being able to do it. You're having the dream. There's no money in it. But what there is the satisfaction of creating something and connecting with people who get what it is that you're creating. And it doesn't get any better than that, No.
That's right.
If you're not doing it for that, you probably want to do something else.
That's right.
You're going to get a Ferrari these days. One in 150,000 people will make some money out of music, and it's nearly never the musicians. There's none of that. You don't get jets anymore for the cocaine, strippers. So if that's the reason you're doing it, you're in the wrong game.
Well, anyway, you're in the wrong band.
Hang on. There's a bit of that. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. You got to put the work in, to get the rewards, and like you said, you guys have done it the long way, really. Starting in a covers band, then introducing your own music, and then going on to playing your own sets. I mean, that's really putting the slog in,
Yeah. It's been great fun along the way as well. So
we're privileged to be able to do it. It's kind of, it's been really incremental, and we haven't kind of pushed ahead. We kind of, we we slipped a few of the original songs in the set. And tried them out, and even with this album, it's not so much with this one, but we played quite a few of the songs out live. Before
that
we
kind of
recorded them.
road test kind of thing, But with Aces and Eights, we didn't get a chance to do that. I mean, I think we played 2 songs that made it onto the album back in September last year, and so we're trying some of them out live now for the first time ourselves, which is. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, hats off to you. Well, you've got your hat on, but I can't fault it. Can't fault it, guys. I can't fault you at all, to be honest. I love your work ethic. I mean, a lot of young bands should take a note out of your book, to be honest.
But it's good. Yeah, we do a bit. I've done a bit of mentoring for the Forge Initiative. There's a lot of people that are working with some of the young bands. I spent did a Zoom thing. With some of them recently. But I mean, we don't really know, do we, what we're saying?
No.
But we know.
I mean, certainly, and it's all about, just not having too much of a lofty view as to where you're trying to get. It's kind of, and then all the small steps towards wherever you end up actually count for something. So
it's about resilience, really, isn't it?
It's
about, you can't force it. You can't. And, like you said earlier, we were lucky that Wyatt put us on his show, and then we were lucky that we got put on a playlist. But I mean, we were in that place lucky. But we were still lucky. There's 50 bands that week that didn't. Equally as working as hard and equally as passionate. So you know, all these things, it's a combination of everything, isn't it?
Yeah, but you still got to produce quality music as well. So
yeah, there's loads of quality.
You've got to have a lot of luck, but you've got to produce that quality music, and you know, start like you said, when Wyatt picked up on that, and you know,
you've got to have that.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah, it's fundamental.
You've got the music, and you need a great singer. There's no good just having a great musical band.
Yeah.
If it's, you know, our kind of music, if it's a normal kind of band, you need a great singer. So if you've got that, you're still only 20% of the way there, but you have to have that. You won't pass go, you know. You won't get to be the lucky, to try and be lucky.
Yeah.
So it's having that, then it's having the work, it's being patient, being resilient, not killing each other. Because the psychological thing about being in a band
also.
There's a lot of time spent together, you know, slogging around in a van and stuff, you know. So and you know, that can be fun and it can be a pain in the ass sometimes. But yeah, it's kind of you know, making sure, you know, the fun thing is key, you know, for me, for us, you know. It's kind of we'd have stopped doing it ages ago if it wasn't rewarding, you know. There's, you know, like Freddie said, there's little money made in this industry these days.
No, not anymore. So
you know, it seems quite fleeting. They actually
count for everything, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, we played at they said earlier, you know, there's a big stage at Giants of Rock. You know, we took our own sound guy. The sound was fantastic. The room was full. The reaction was better than we'd ever. You know, you kind of do dare to dream. You think, oh, well, I hope it'll be like that. And when it is, and we just had a blast, didn't we? Absolute blast. And everyone was fantastic. And you know, that sustains me for
the next time.
For the next gig.
2 years, another 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, those, and you know, you can see, you know, he talks about Wagons and Crows and Stone Broken at the weekend. You know, you can see them getting that buzz
as well. Yeah.
As much as, you know, the first time. So yeah, it's great. Yeah, we're privileged to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's lovely to create something that people like. And yeah, we do have a laugh. I know we want to kill each other sometimes, but we have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
especially the Welsh guy.
We're still quite naughty boys, you know. We still have a little late glass of wine and a giggle.
All right, great. All right, then, guys. So yeah, we've been on an hour now, and we were only given 40 minutes to be honest.
Wow.
So
do some editing, chop some bits out.
Chop as much out as you like.
Well, thanks for having us on, boys. I mean, it's this song it's just been totally amazing, you know. So thanks for being part of it along the way with us. So.
Yeah, that's
great.
cool.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for telling me your story, actually, because it's quite inspirational. You know, to know that you've done it the long way around, and you know, a lot of young bands should take a leaf out of your book, to be honest.
Well, yeah, maybe not.
Well, like you said, you know, we live in an age of instant gratification, you know, and everybody wants it today. Nobody can wait until next Saturday. It's got to be today, you know, and to be able to put the work in and realize your ambition at the end of it, you know, it's taken you 8 years, you know, to finally sort of. I mean, you're almost breaking through, I would say. I mean, you haven't quite made it yet. I mean, you're on the radio, you've got one single on the radio, whatever. But you're knocking on the door now, and it's taken 8 years to get to this stage, you know. I mean, I know you guys. You guys are really appreciate. I can't even say the word thankful. I'll say then, because I can't say appreciative. But you guys are so appreciative of the fact that you've been picked up now, you know, after putting so much work in, and I mean. Yeah, we don't see enough of it, to be honest.
No, and then the other thing is, you know, just say we are pretty old, and we thought our ship had sailed years ago, you know. So I think that can inspire people as well. Age is not a barrier in rock music, and in so many other things. It just isn't.
Well, not only that, I mean,
Oh, well, almost nobody gives them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think they would. Well, who are these old guys, you know?
Yeah, but if you look at cowboys, I mean, cowboys are old, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the hats hide a multitude of things.
Yeah,
Exactly, I mean.
yeah.
87.
So if you all come on, I mean, I think that's the appeal of Lynyrd Skynyrd. You know, they all come on dressed up in their long coats and their spurs and their cowboy boots, and
Yeah.
you know, and it's the same sort of thing for you guys, I suppose.
Yeah, we have a bit of fun with that as well. So I mean, Rob especially is fantastic. You know, visually frontman kind of thing going on. So he's always turning up with some new crazy pair of jeans or whatever it might be. So
it looks different every time.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
His beard's different, or his hair's changed.
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of. It seems like he seems to be able to grow his hair at will, and then change it.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
he's like a chameleon. He's a chameleon of a frontman.
yeah. Well, if he's Welsh, he can cut his hair longer, can he?
Yeah.
He can do everything longer, apparently.
Fantastic.
All right, then, guys, we're going to let you go.
Yeah, beautiful. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, it's been great. Thanks for coming on, and we'll share all your socials, share your music as well, and I'll be seeing you boys at the Kremlin.
See you in Kremlin.
And we might see you in France.
Yeah, or Holland even.
Oh yeah.
All right, cheers, guys.
All right, take care.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
I've removed them. Oh, I hope they can't hear me now. No, well, they were pretty cool.
Yeah, really good guys, aren't they? You know, it was,
yeah, nice. I mean, listen to some of the album early. Sorry, go on, Dave. Keep talking over each other. We're gonna have to fucking sort this out, David. I mean, you must be on medication today or something, because every time I got to say something, you fucking jumped on me.
Well, you had a go with last night for not talking, so I thought I better do a bit, didn't I?
I think I need to make a signal.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll hold my pen up. If I hold my pen up like this, you can talk. And then what can you do for me?
I don't know.
Stick your finger up your nose.
Turn my light on and off. Flick on my light.
But we'll have to do something, because that was a bit of a disaster today.
No, I thought it was good. We were all right.
I had to apologise. I had to apologise, David, about 4 times for talking over you. So
that's now we only did it a couple of times, or not many times. But no, they're a good band. Like I said, I've had a good listen to them today, and I really like their music. So yeah, I'll be buying their stuff, and I'll be going up Kremlin and having a watch of them.
Okay.
That's right. Let me flick my light, and then you can talk.
But I know you've been struggling today with a bad back, so and you did message me earlier saying you might not have been able to make it. So
yeah, I tried to weasel out.
Yeah, because you thought they were the American version. Thought they were going to turn up with machine guns and fucking AK-47s.
Big Trump supporters.
Oh well. All right then, mate. Well, we'll make this a short one since you got a bad back. Well, a short one. It's still been over an hour already, but
yeah, I know.
I'll let you go and get some rest.
Yeah, no problem. All right, take care.
And yeah.
Bye.
All right. Ta-ra.
Run out.